A pay rise for over 2 million minimum wage earners. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I'd like to talk about a pay rise to the minimum wage here in Australia. 2.2 million Aussies could score a boost of up to $18.80 a week. Fantastic, congratulations if you've received this, and I hope you spend it wisely. But we need to talk about this. Remember, a minimum wage is an intervention into the market, everyone. It creates an artificial floor in the prices for the use of labour. And in some ways, there are some negative consequences to this minimum wage. Some people will be priced out of even having a job. Some people won't have the skills or capabilities to even earn the minimum wage. And some people will miss those opportunities to skill up. Businesses won't be able to hire people that are, well, not that useful because the minimum wage may be more than the services they can provide. Often starting out in a career or profession, you have to do some really low-paid work. Rachel was earning a few dollars an hour, and we're not that old, as an architecture student, a student of architecture. And that was only for the first 13 weeks, and then it steadily went up till it reached a normal wage. But that provided her an opportunity to skill up. And what you do is if you have, like now, you have to pay everyone this minimum wage, this minimum adult wage, even while they're learning. Well, that means only the people who can do internships or who are well off financially get access to those skills and can improve themselves. So you're destroying the opportunities for a whole bunch of other people. So before we go through this article, I'd like to just have a look and look at this supply and demand curve for minimum wage. And let's jump to my XP pen that I have here, and we will do some drawing. Now I've had a bit of a mission getting this working, so hopefully it's all working smoothly and you can see everything and the microphone's going. You guys don't know how much fun it is upgrading computers, but I think I've got it all sorted. I think I finally do. We'll see. That's probably why that's definitely why I haven't actually managed to get as many videos out recently in this last week. So we have a supply and demand curve here. Now, this here is the quantity, and up here is the price. Now, there's two curves here. There is a demand curve. So, the higher the price is, the quantity, so how you read it, the quantity of a good is lower that's demanded for it. So if the price is really high, there's less demand, understandably. But we have also a supply curve going up this way. So this here is supply, and this is demand. And normally, it reaches an equilibrium point here. Okay, that's where the price and the quantity is equal. That's what you want in a market without interventions. But you're going, oh, Florian, such and such needs to earn a minimum living wage. How will they cope? Well, that's another discussion about the iron law of wages. I just want to show here the consequence of having this intervention in the market, everyone. It's not without consequences. That's what people need to be aware about when they're advocating for these things. The politicians don't care. They understand there's consequences to their decisions. They just want to get in at the next election. That's what they're concerned about. So what we'd say, let's say, they want to implement a minimum wage. Okay, so right now they implement a minimum wage at this level here at $10 per hour to make it easy. Okay, $10 per hour. Now, all of a sudden, what happens in this situation is now the supply of labor isn't at this level. It isn't Q1. It's now here. So Q2, because there are more people that are happy to work for that higher rate, the $10 per hour than in the past. So more people are happy to take that up. But the demand, because you're paying more than this level, say that was 5, don't worry about the scale, the demand now, that's gone to this level. So that's down to here, so that's Q0. So there's now a difference between what's supplied and what's demanded, and that we can see, we'll just, we'll color that in here, that's here, from one to the other. So you have a situation where because you've intervened in the market and you've set a minimum wage, a minimum level, you now have, well, a surplus of labor. You've got more people that want to work. You can see here, this is the surplus of labor. So Q2 over Q1. So there are more people that want to work. So more people are potentially entering into the economy. So you've got an increase in participation, but then the unemployment rate goes up. So you have all these people, maybe they're not worth the $10. Maybe they can't provide the skills to get to the $10. All these businesses here, they'll offshore it overseas so they don't need to deal with it. That could be another risk. And one thing to consider, one very important thing to consider is the dead weight loss. Now that is the difference between what you'd have in a normal market of people employed and this one here. So that's this measurement here. So let's say that was 100 people. And now there's a supply of 110. Okay, but the demand is only 90. So you now have you've got negative 10 less people working that normally should be, but you've got negative 20 from here to here that are not working, unemployed. So by putting this into the market, this intervention, there is, well, unemployment increased, everyone. It creates all of these issues. And it's just something that people need to be aware. No intervention into the economy is not without consequences. And I'm not saying, if you're there earning the minimum wage, I'm not saying, oh, you should get paid less, you should get paid less. No, I'm saying that there should be less interventions in the market to provide you potentially with more opportunities. Maybe you could hire some people to help you if wages were less. Or maybe there'd be more freedom for people to negotiate their contracts and deals. But that seems to be quite a, well, let's just say not a very common opinion here in Australia. We're very protectionist, very government taking care of us and holding people's hands. I think the expectations on the average Aussie, it's pretty low actually from a government perspective. So let's have a look at this new minimum wage rise. And here's another thing, everyone. You've got to understand pay rises should naturally result in a, well, let's jump back here. Let's just jump back here. Let's look at what we're going to do is we're going to just create a new, where is it? Create a new layer. This is what you want to happen in a market, guys. We've got our two curves here. Okay? We've got our supply and our demand curves here, as we're saying. Now let's just say there is a demand for labor that's higher. Okay, so there's this demand here, QX for labor. Okay, there is a shortage of people. So rather than being here, Q1, rather than being Q1, there is a shortage of people. So you want more people to work. So what do? Well, you start advertising a bit differently. You're going, okay, you know, this level here is $10. I'm going to advertise my job at, you know, $11. And then that goes to here. And all of a sudden, okay, you get more supply. Okay, I'm going to advertise at $15. Okay, it goes up to here. Okay, boom. So what's happened is demand has shifted to here. And this is now the new equilibrium point. At this level, or what's up here? This level, here, and here. So that means people are getting paid $15 an hour, as we said, and there's more people employed. That is the new equilibrium. So that is how wages should go up in a market, because it's demand driven. Because people can't get the workers, so they pay more. It inches up bit by bit by bit. We've seen, you know, our politicians, our leaders try and, you know, advocate for wage growth, wages going up. Look at the RBA. They're constantly failing at it again and again and again because, well, government doesn't. If government mandates wage growth, like here at the bottom level, it may be destroying opportunities for people. It may incentivize people to offshore work. It also drives up the cost of everything here in Australia, and it reduces the opportunity for people to get skills. So, the new minimum wage, let's have a look. 2.2 million Aussies to score $18.80. More than 2.2 million Australians will receive $18.80 weekly pay rises as the Fair Work Commission moves to increase the minimum wage. That means Australia's lowest paid workers will now receive $20.33 an hour, or $772.60 a week. The increase reflects a 49 cent an hour increase. The 2.5% increase falls short of the union's desire of a 3.5% increase, but is significantly greater than the 1.75 increase handed down last year. And this is the thing, even if you're not on the minimum wage, this could flow through to other awards. I had a colleague, he would check the Architects Award, and he found that it wasn't meeting the fairness test. And he went to his bosses and he said, "Oh, look, I want a pay rise." And they're going, "Oh, we're offering you that." And he's going, "Oh, that's just the award, guys. That's what you have to offer." So he was the one that got the bump. No one else did. They didn't tell people that, which you can't really do as an employer. We always had to pass it on. It frustrated me that people were getting a pay rise while fees weren't going up, and there was no productivity increase. It's just mandated. Australian employer body, AI Group, has called for the Fair Work Commission to limit the latest increase to 1.1%, expressing concerns that businesses would be unable to cover the increased wages. Fair Work Commission President Justice Ian Ross said this year's decision came down to the strength of the Australian economy today. Well, here's the thing, everyone. Who thinks we're in a free market? Okay, look at this. You've got a commission that makes decisions on wages in our country. We're not in a free market, everyone. If any crazy lefty is going rambling on about the woes of capitalism, it'd be great to try out some capitalism for once. There was a broad consensus in the submissions before us that the current performance of the economy has exceeded expectations and that the economic recovery is well underway, he said. How much of that is due to government stimulus? Most of it. We'll all have to pay it back anyway. Or if not pay it back, we will have to work it back. We'll be forced to work for the state for a period of our lives. So delays to the wage increase. While the new minimum wage traditionally comes into place on the 1st of July of the following financial year, some sectors will not receive the pay rise next month. Employees in certain retail sectors such as tourism, fitness and aviation will receive the pay rise from the 1st of November 2021, while other retail workers will receive the hike from the 1st of September. The Australian Council of Trade Union Secretary Sally McManus described the decision to delay the increase for retail workers as particularly disappointing. We've just had our first recession in 28 years. You've got the housing sector booming because government is just pouring petrol onto that sector. You've got tourism dead. You've got international students not rocking up anymore. You've got migration gone. I can appreciate why they would delay it. Retail workers everyone's an essential worker who worked all the way throughout the pandemic. Some of those workers work for very profitable companies that had record profits during the pandemic. There is no reason, in fact, it is unfair to delay those increases, McManus said. McManus also said the overall increase was not enough. While the pay increase of 2.5% is a lot more than what the employers and government had argued for, it does keep up with essentials, she said. At the moment, those essentials are going up more than 2.5%. A fuel, taxed by the government, medicine, rent, all of these things are essentials people have no choice other than to spend money on. Well, maybe there's a great way we could all get instantly a pay rise if the government increased the tax-free threshold. Then people would get more money in their pocket every week. Wouldn't that be a novel idea? So what's the solutions to this? What would I propose? I honestly think we need to educate people so they understand the implications of these government interventions in the market, that nothing is all good, that everything has a price to pay. We need to appreciate the deadweight loss to the economy. There are going to be some people that will just not be worth the $20 an hour. They may not have the skills. They may not have the capacity to do it. They may be injured. And you've removed that ability for them to negotiate a different deal. That's now illegal. So you would have, if you've ever taken advantage of minimum wage, I would argue you have a duty of care to those people to ensure they're not living in destitution. So there's your argument. If anyone's worried about the dole bludgers, if anyone's worried about the NDIS, any of these things, there's an argument for it right there. You're limiting their ability to start businesses. You're limiting their ability to work. I've seen posts on on NDIS groups or these other groups that we're starting to go onto Facebook. And I've even had friends with disabilities who whinged about how little they got paid because they can get, in some ways, paid less than able people, but their productivity needs to be taken into account. I mean, this is the problem. Having a minimum wage gives people a sense of entitlement that they're worth that, which I'm surely hoping most people that complain are going to be worth much more than $20 an hour. They'll have the skills and capabilities to earn more. But you've got to get to that point, everyone. I'd argue we should create special economic regions to experiment with reduced levels of government intervention in the economy to test out these ideas, and then give people the freedom to move between them to see what they would prefer. What do you reckon? Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.